Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another Indie Game Friday, where each week I take a look at a different independent computer role-playing game. This week I'm still looking back through the archives to cover one that's been out for quite some time, Hero Siege from Panic Art Studios. It was released back in January of 2014 and is available on both PC and on mobile devices. Hero Siege is a top-down 2D hack-and-slash roguelike in which up to 4 players can cooperate to kill randomized monsters and gather loot. Comparisons with certain other formative titles in the genre might abound, not only from the gameplay perspective, but also regarding the music and theme. And, that's understandable. In terms of plot, Hero Siege is divided into several acts, although there's not much in the way of background. In the first, you simply make your way to a town that's been surrounded by undead and other monsters, then delve into the outskirts to defeat the one that's leading them. Each subsequent act plays out in much the same way. You go to a hub area, branch out into the surrounding areas, and complete quests, and basically you then move to the next area. When you start the game, you are given a number of character slots. Creating a character allows you to select a class, a name, and whether the character is hardcore or not. There are several classes included with the base game: Viking, Pyromancer, Marksman, Pirate, Nomad, Redneck, Necromancer, and White Mage. Many others are exclusive, requiring you to pay to access them, and these tend to be the stronger classes: Samurai, Paladin, Amazon, Demon Slayer, Demon Spawn, Shaman, Marauder, Plague Doctor, and Shield Lancer. Each of the pay-for classes are actually fairly pricey, in that a number of them are actually equal to the price of the base game itself, with the others only being a couple bucks less. There's actually a number of skins available for similar prices. When you select a class, you are given a preview of their skills as well. Once you've created a character, you're dropped into the tutorial area just outside of the first hub village, so you can get a handle on gameplay. Like much of this sort of game, there are 2 main portions that dominate gameplay: the battle maps and the town hubs. But before we go into those, let's go through the basic overview of the character's stats. Characters have a level that increases as they gain experience, an attack speed and movement speed, 4 basic stats from which others derive: strength that governs melee attacks, energy that fuels spells and abilities, and stamina. Derived stats include damage, max mana, damage reduction, and health. Each character also gets a number of defensive and miscellaneous adjustments: dodge percentage, critical damage and critical chance, experience adjustment, damage reflection, and other things such as health and mana gained per hit and per second, adjustments to all stats and talents, and magic find increase. Each character may also have adjustments to their overall damage in various elemental types, as well as a block chance. And if you've played games like the Diablo series, this should be sounding very familiar. Most of these are gained either through talents or equipment, but a few scale on level and class. Each character also has a talent tree, which allows for spending various talent points to acquire certain passive or active abilities. You get a talent point at the end of each level. They are arranged in a tree that is itself divided into various tiers, which require a certain level to be obtained before each tier is unlocked for purchase. These may provide flat bonuses, but may also provide a sort of special abilities beyond the basic attacks given by weapons, and each tree is unique to each class. There are also abilities regarding minions and such that may be available at later levels. A character can also equip items in 8 slots. There's a helm slot, a necklace slot, an item in each hand, a body armor slot, gloves, boots, and a charm or accessory. This is all accessible from the inventory screen, along with a list of the various ores, powders, keys, and more that you can find during gameplay. Items are divided into various tiers, which have a typical color coding scheme depending on whether a item is superior, rare, mythic, etc. If you've played this sort of game before, you should feel well at home with it. Each item may have a variety of effects on your stats and skills, and may have a level required before it is actually usable. Characters can also acquire artifacts during play. These don't have to be equipped, but rather provide a permanent passive bonus after you pick them up. Once in the game, you can move around with the WASD keys, use basic attacks with the mouse button, use skills by pressing hotkeys 1 to 4. You can also open a town portal, use a single type of potion that you've picked up, or a special weapon that you may have equipped. You may also jump over obstacles and interact with people and objects with the F key. The town hub is where you can access your stash, warp to other areas, interact with various NPCs to acquire quests, or buy and sell items. The stash is a chest that allows you to store items. The waypoint allows you to access areas you've already been to. Near to the waypoint is a difficulty selector that you can actually use to change the difficulty of the game. NPCs in town may allow you to buy and sell items, buy a mystery chest that requires a key to open, craft accessories, items, gems, and so forth, test damage per second, or lock and unlock experience gain if you want to remain at a certain level. There is a number of NPCs in each town as well that may just offer a series of quests and rewards. In the actual world, you have a series of randomly generated maps that function as levels, similar to what you might see in any roguelike. These are populated by random groups of enemies, which may include normal enemies, elite enemies, and mini-bosses. You're also given a meter that indicates how close you are to summoning the boss of that particular level. Going around the level killing enemies fills this bar, and when it is full, the proper boss of that level appears. Killing the boss earns loot and offers a portal to the next level, and is indeed the only way you can access the next level. Unless you've already been there before and used the waypoint. Other things may be found on levels randomly as well, including NPCs from town that give additional types of quests in the field, various treasure chests protected by puzzles and traps, even sub-areas and mini-dungeons accessible through separate entrances. These levels can be relatively simplistic in layout, basically large-scale arenas, or a little bit more complex as time in the game proceeds. Enemies can drop gold, items, chests, keys, health and mana globes, the latter of two of which can restore your health and mana respectively. Chests of various sorts may require keys to open. There are silver keys and crystal keys, which are used for different tiers of chests. Keeping enough keys on you to open all the chests you find can actually be a task, so in effect the keys are the limit on how much loot you can acquire over the chests, since chests tend to be relatively plentiful. You can also pick up a minion that follows you around and launches its own attacks. Each minion has a different sort of attack, so it's useful to select one that complements your skills, or at least provides some sort of variety. Every several levels, you face a larger scale boss that serves as an area boss before going on to the next hub village. These proper bosses have their own layers, which are effectively miniature dungeons with a boss at the end. Gameplay is very simple with all of this considered. It has quite a bit in common with Diablo derivatives in that regard. You simply wander through, killing enemies, gathering loot, and boosting abilities. Classic and well executed all in all. Graphically, the game has a sort of hand-drawn sprite style that is colorful, with each world reflecting a specific theme, be it a gothic village, a frozen north village, whatever. It's not bad, and despite the mobile ports available, doesn't necessarily feel like a mobile game. If anything, it feels like an action RPG of yesteryear. Musically, well, the tracks are actually way better than I'd expected for a game like this, and are reminiscent of the original Diablo series without being a proper ripoff. Most games like this I want to turn the music off sooner rather than later. In Hero Siege, it's easy enough listening that I was actually able to wait till later before wanting to turn it off. As usual, I didn't get a chance to play out the multiplayer aspects, but it is available in a 4-pack on Steam, so you can buy it for a reasonable price and send keys to friends, and it seems like it would have a lot better gameplay that way. Overall, the main draw of Hero Siege is that it's competently executed action RPG at a reasonable price, at least if you consider only the main game. And on that note, I absolutely recommend it to fans of the genre. If you're not a fan of the genre, it's not going to convert you. Then again, if you are a fan of the genre, you probably have a better option already, unless you're sick of it and just want something different. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Also, if you consider it with all of the alternate classes and skins, that's where Hero Siege can get pricey. The fact that a number of the best classes are locked behind individual paywalls is kind of disappointing, especially when those paywalls rival the price of the game itself. Not that there's a lot of money involved in the game itself, but you get what I'm saying. If you're not a completionist, that can actually be a decent value, but if you want to get everything, you're probably going to be laying out way more than this game is worth. However, if you find it on sale, it may be worth picking up. And on that note, I'll wrap it up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my Indie Game Friday, Hero Siege. And this will be my last Indie Game Friday of the year. It has been a real ride, this series. This season has been a lot of lookbacks at games that I missed, at least in the latter half of the year, and I hope that you've enjoyed looking at some of these overlooked gems from time to time. Starting next year, I'm probably starting in the middle to later of the first couple months of next year. We'll see what happens. I will be trying to cover newer titles then. At any rate, as always, I'll put links to where you can pick this one up in the description below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment if you got any feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content, both tabletop and computer. Until next time, take care and goodbye. And if you're still watching this far, I'd like to take a moment to thank those who have supported this channel via Patreon or direct donations throughout the years, without which this channel could not have lasted as long as it has. For those who are feeling particularly generous, you can still support my work through Patreon and now through Subscribestar as well, through the links in the description below.